Man versus gun.
Hello shooters, thank you for watching Tie Iron Channel. Today's episode of Man vs. Handgun, and it is a stretch to call this a handgun, but legally it is my AR handgun. I'm not going to compare this on the spreadsheet that I do all the other handguns because this really stretches the idea of a handgun. It's legally a handgun, but it's not a handgun like any of the others we've tested so far, like a Glock, a Smith & Wesson FN. So we're just going to go over the characteristics of this thing and what I build it out of, and then I'll give my final thoughts after some shooting, of course. We're going to start off with the weight. And the weight of this thing is unloaded 7 pounds and basically 1 ounce. 7 pounds and 1 ounce. It would be lighter if I didn't have the Law Tactical folder, but then I wouldn't be able to fold it. So it is what it is. Okay, overall length on this, from the end of the SIG arms brace to the end of the barrel, is 28¼ inches. 28¼ when I fold it, and it gets quite a bit smaller. Now it's right around 20 5/8. So this allows it to fit in my get home bag. That's why the Law Tactical was a must-have for me, to get the overall weight length down as much as possible. I could probably squeeze another 1/4 inch out if I push this on a little bit farther. We'll start at the front end. I have an A2 flash suppressor on here, and I've got it set so it's got negative bias for right or left hand. In other words, it's set level. On the A2, you're supposed to have it so it rotated a little bit for right or left hand shooter. Well, I shoot both hands, and so I've got it so it's exactly level. These ports are, and there is no ports on the bottom. It's as short a flash suppressor as I could find, because I need to keep the overall weight short enough to fit in my get home bag. So that's the flash suppressor that I have. It doesn't eliminate all flash, but it does a good enough job. You'll see a night shoot here in just a second. It was darker to my natural eye than it is here, but here's Wolf. Wolf typically exhibits bright flash, so the A2 does a great job. M193, not a lot of flash. There is some that comes out of the ejection port right now, but that's just the way it is with short-barreled ARs. I have a Ballistic Advantage barrel. It's 10.5 inches long. It is they call it a QPQ finish. It's salt bath nitride, like Tenifer, like what they have on the Glock. So it's a really good finish. Very, very hard, very lubrous. It will help the barrel last a long time. And I'm running a carbine length gas system on this. Don't really have a choice. Can't go any longer at all. I have a Midwest Industries M-Lock free float 4-end rail on this thing. I really like Midwest Industries products. I have a Magpul flip up front sight, and this little gizmo here is to help me push the gun out, actually, and I'll show you how that works here in just a second. Okay, shooters, here's what little hand stop I have on here. Note how I put it in between my fingers. I could go like this, but I put it in between my fingers. I couldn't put it out here a little bit farther because the M-Lock attachment interferes with the gas block that's underneath this, and then the barrel will be no longer free floating. So I brought it back a little bit. I actually put it between my fingers, and then I push out. I use that to help me push out against the sling, and that's what gives me the stability that I'm looking for. Coming on back here, the upper and lower is from Aero Precision. I do have the Blue Teal Bravo PDQ bolt lock unlock. As those of you that are familiar with my channel, I do like 45-degree throw safeties. So this has a 45-degree throw safety. I have a primary arms red dot. I don't remember the model number, but this is the 50,000 hour model number. So it's got the same hour battery as the Aimpoint T1, and it works really well for my purposes on this. This is not something I'm going to jump into Afghanistan with, and so this will work just fine. I have a Magpul flip-up rear sight. As those of you on my channel know, I'm a big fan of the Raptor, so I have the Raptor charging handle. For me, this is a go-to, must-have on my ARs. I have a Norgon ambidextrous mag release and the short throw over here on the same side too. Running a Magpul K2. It's got a different angle. Most AR hand grips could kind of go like this, the K2, and there's others like it, other brands, has a steeper angle. For me, it works better. This is the Law Tactical folder. It does add some length to the, it does add length of pull. It does add 1.35 inches to the length of pull on this handgun, but the benefit is it buys me a much shorter package once I fold it. I don't remember who makes the buffer tube, but it is 7075 series aluminum. Most buffer tubes that you find on the market are 6061. They're much more soft. They're inferior. I will only use 7075 series buffer tubes on any of my fighting carbines or fighting AR handgun. And this is a SIG arms brace. On the Law Tactical, there is a quick release spot there. You can put a quick release swivel. I did put a quick release swivel there, but it interferes with my grip. When I grab onto the gun, this swivel was in the way, so even though, you know, to me it's a lightning hole because it's not going to work as a swivel. I wished that I did have a place to put a swivel point back here somewhere, but I just don't, because once I fold this thing up, you know, if I had a, they do make sling swivel attach points back here, but as soon as I fold this thing up, you know, then it's going to mess up with so in other words, I couldn't carry it with it slung. I don't know what I'm going to do there. I'd like to find something to allow me to have a 2-point sling, but right now I'm running a 1-point sling up here on the front. Because of the work I've done at the range to see the best way to utilize a handgun of this type, and it is to put a sling on it and push out against the sling, I am rethinking this SIG arms attachment here. I'm thinking of maybe taking this off and putting a different type on, maybe just a foam cover. I'm not sure. This doesn't impede what I'm doing, but it is heavy and it is bulky, and I don't use it as a quote-unquote arm brace like this. I use it as a cheek weld, so I'm not sure where this is going to end up. I painted my handgun gray because my get home bag is gray, and when I open up my get home bag, I don't want anybody to see, oh, he's got a black gun in there. This kind of camouflages it inside my gray get home bag, so that's why it's gray. Walmart Krylon gray primer is what this is, and it's starting to wear off in some spots. You can see some spots here wearing off. The mag well's wearing off. It's wearing off the Raptor. It's wearing off the front side. It's, you know, it's wearing off the red dot that I've got, but it still looks gray, which is what I which is what I want. So let's go to the range and see how this thing performs.
This thing is an absolute joy to shoot. It's a lot of fun to shoot. It's small, it's light, it's really fast to come up on target because of the shortness of it and the lightweight. Everybody that shoots these things just comes away with a big smile on their face. Shooting at a little teeny piece of steel out there. This is helmet cam. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun to shoot. And you know what? Pushing out against that sling really aids in controllability. Comes up on target fast, it stays on target. This AR handgun is pretty dang accurate, at least for my standards they are. This target's at 50 yards, and you can see it's 5 shots. M193 is the ammo, and over here we have 1.83 MOA. So at 50 yards, I'm at 0.958 MOA. At 100 yards, that translates to 1.8 MOA. This is using that red dot. My eye has an astigmatism, so the red dots, when I look through a red dot, it's more like looking through a Nike swoosh. So for me, this is plenty good. I know that Ballistic Advantage does carry a 1 MOA guarantee on their barrels, and were I to put a magnified scope on this and use match grade ammo, I could probably get a 3-shot group at 100 yards. But for my purposes, 5 shots in an inch at 50 yards is perfect for my needs. This is a graphic reason of why you need to sight your firearm, whatever it is, a handgun or rifle, with your like go-to ammo and not the ammo you use for training. This is wolf ammo. I shot 5 rounds at 50 yards through my AR handgun. Identical conditions. The only difference was this was wolf ammo, the other was 193 ammo. This is, 3¼ inch MOA, and notice the point of impact is different too. The center of the group is up here, whereas with my carry ammo, the center of the group is right there, and it's 1-inch group. So I sight in my guns for the carry ammo, and then just recognize that the training ammo I use, in this case wolf, is not going to be the same point of impact, and the group's going to open up. But for training purposes, this is going to work out okay. There you have it, shooters. I hope you like my AR handgun. I like it. It's a lot of fun, and it fits a need that I have for a compact firearm that will go in my get home bag. So an upcoming video will be my get home bag, and this will be just one small part of what is contained in my get home bag. My get home bag is just something that's going to be in my vehicle. So if the natural disaster or societal breakdown, I'm not able to remain in my vehicle because maybe I had to ram through a barricade and my vehicle died a mile or 2 down the road, my get home bag will get me home. So that's upcoming. Thank you for watching. Appreciate all the shares, likes, and subscribes. And as always, ensure that your training and your practice is preparing you for the real world, your real world, and not for the fantasy land of the shooting range. Have a nice day.